Trump's closest advisor. He said, quote, "I argue with everyone except Pompeo." So as a trusted advisor with a strong personal rapport, how do you navigate those conversations when you have to have more difficult conversations, when you have to tell the president you think he may be wrong about something?
Yeah, look, it happens with some frequency. My responsibility is really very, very clear. It is to work with the State Department team to develop a set of options for the president or recommendations to the president. Say, hey, here's how we think we ought to approach this particular problem set. To lay out why we think that's the case. When we're heading in the wrong direction, I have a deep obligation to tell the president, hey, I think we're heading the wrong direction. Here's how I think we ought to course correct. Here's why. But in the end, when he makes his decision, my mission is to go carry that out, to go deliver it. The American people elected him the President of the United States. He has the ultimate responsibility. And so my obligation extends to making sure that every day that we have those conversations, that when I think he's got it wrong, I'm diligent in articulating the reasons I think we've got it wrong, and then providing a set of options that help us get to what I believe is a better place.
Thank you. Bill Taylor, a fellow West Point grad who's served in every administration since 1985, both parties, testified before the House. White House line characterized that he and others as radical, unelected bureaucrats. I know you responded briefly to that yesterday, but I'm curious, do you still have confidence in your top Ukrainian diplomat?
Well, I don't talk about personnel stuff. It's not fair to any of the team, but I'll say this. I have a responsibility in this big organization. I've watched Bill. He and I have talked about Ukrainian policy some length. How do you take down corruption? How do you now help the new leader there, President Zelensky? How do we deliver on America's national security interests? And he and I were full accord on that. He and I both shared this vision for how American interests in Ukraine can probably be represented. I have every reason to think that he's still out there banging away at that problem set. But I will say this, we all, as human beings, can get it wrong too. We see things through a certain prism, we address things in a certain way. We all have a responsibility to make sure we're getting it as right as we can each and every day. And so I don't think by nature of the fact that I work at the State Department means I get everything right every day. I think that's true for all of the people who work at the United States Department of State. Indeed, I have seen State Department officials engaged in behavior that was not appropriate, that wasn't right, that didn't reflect the highest values of the Foreign Service and American diplomacy around the world. And so my obligation as the organization's leader is to sort through that, to parse through it, to make sure that we collectively are delivering on behalf of the American people each and every day.
Thank you. So you are on campus today encouraging students to consider public service, particularly in the State Department. So I'm curious, like, to have a career diplomat, like their reputations kind of disparaged publicly after the former diplomat was unceremoniously removed. What is your pitch to those people that you're trying to recruit, those young people you want to get into public service? What's a life of public service if partisan politics can irreparably damage your reputation?
Yeah, I think the predicate of your question is just wrong.
In what sense?
The American people understand that these folks who go do these remarkable things. I was just talking this morning to a group here at Wichita State about some amazing work that a fellow did in Syria just these last handful of weeks, out in a dangerous environment, passing real-time information to us so that we could complete, the Vice President could complete the negotiations that we did in Ankara. It's amazing work. At significant personal risk and incredibly professional, capable of getting this information to the right place in a timely way. Look, there's noise in Washington, D.C. People will say things, people will challenge you, people will say they think you've got it all wet. Politics is everywhere. It's not just here in the United States, it's all around the world too. I watch my counterparts at the foreign ministries or leaders around the world. Their domestic political audience are challenging them too. Sometimes people use language that makes sense. Sometimes they may use language that doesn't. When you commit to a life of public service, and this is what I told the students I was with, when you commit to a life of public service, what you do every day is stay focused on the mission, right? You came you came to want to be at the State Department because you wanted to go have an impact on the lives of American national security and the lives of people all around the world. You came with a purpose, stayed focused on that purpose, stayed true to the truth, stayed true to the mission set. And when you do that, the noise, what people say, things that are supportive of you or things that aren't supportive of you, won't impact what it is you came to do. If you know that, if you know why you're there and why you're doing what you're doing, then I think the life as an officer, as a diplomat in the United States Department of State is a glorious place to go spend some part of your life serving America.
So everyone's asking you about the potential Senate bid. I'm not going to do that, but I am curious, under what circumstances might you ever consider running for president?
I think anybody who thinks about taking on that awesome duty has to have a deep-seated belief that they can make a difference. Right? You have to have a reason, a rationale. Where there came a time in my life that I believed that it was something that I could do, where I could make a difference, where I could have a real impact on the lives of the people of the United States. I'd consider it. This country has given me and my family so much. I've had so many opportunities because this country gave me a chance to run a small business and the opportunity to speak my mind and to be elected as a member of Congress and to be the director of the CIA and to worship in my faith and to teach a Sunday school class. All of the things that sometimes, frankly, we take for granted here in America. I feel that I do owe this nation a deep debt. And so if there's any time in my life that there's a chance to serve, whether that's to serve in a role somewhere or in a government office or in the private sector or even back in government, Susan and I are committed to this life which recognizes that we have an obligation to give back to this great country. So if the opportunity presented itself where I thought that was the case, I'd certainly think about it.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Awesome.